Guys, welcome to number 16 of the Derby Career Mode Live, and to start off this episode, we're currently top of the table by 3 points. However, if Brentford do win their game in hand, they will be only 1 point behind us, so we do need to make sure we do win this next game against Norwich, who I thought were in the playoff places, but they're actually all the way down in 15th. There's teams like Sheffield Wednesday, Hull, and even all the way down to 17th you've got Sunderland, so it's kind of crazy how there's these playoff potential teams all the way down there. I know there's only like 10-ish points between the playoffs and Norwich, but still a lot of points to make up from now until the end of the season, because there's only 16 games from now until the end of the season. I've actually just realised that. So if we are going to hit that objective of playing our youth players in 10 games, we do need to kind of consider where we play those players, because we have got a really tough month of February. Reading and Sheffield Wednesday, two very good opponents, obviously kicking off with Norwich. But I'm thinking of maybe using it in this month because we have got quite a few fixtures back to back on the Saturday, Tuesday. I don't even like. I see Sunderland as an easy game because they're 17th in the table, but at the same time, they're a good team. They've got some really good players, so it's one of them where you need to decide. I'd say that's quite an easy month as these 3 games. In fairness, I'll probably be playing the youth players in. So unfortunately, Brandon Lee is still unavailable to be brought into the first team, and out of all the youth players, I'd probably use him the most because he is a left back. Like, I can use that position quite easily. Not the best of pace, but he's only 15 years old, so I'm sure that strength will go up, and overall his physical stats will be quite decent. Pretty good tackling, saying he's a youth player. He's got 60 odd tackling and a very good potential on him. So really can't wait to bring him into the first team, of course. But for the time being, we are going to go into the next game against Norwich at home. I don't know what the score like. I think we just about won the game against Norwich. Pretty nice away kit on them, that all purple kit. But yeah, we got back-to-back wins in the last episode. As soon as Wisdom comes back, we start winning games. It's almost like he's quite important to this team. But nevertheless, I think we'll go with this lineup. So here's the Norwich City lineup for today's game. They've gone for a 4-2-3-1 as well. Oliveira up front, Pritchard in behind, Houlihan and Oztekin out wide. I'm not too sure who he is. Harrison Reed, Tete, and the holding, Grant Handling closer. Those two centre-backs are actually probably two of the best in the league, in fairness, so it's going to be tough to break them down. Torre and Tafolo in the fullback positions, and Gunn in goal. No Johnny Russell, of course. He's probably on the bench, so he'll come on in the last 20 minutes and score a goal against us, more than likely. I think playing Forsyth helped us as well. I do like Max Lowe, and I hope he does keep growing. But for some of these bigger games, I think we do need Forsyth, just with his physicality, just to hold off players a lot better. Norwich on the attack here, Oliveira just going around Davies with ease, but Forsyth with a great tackle. It's gone to the edge, and unfortunately it has gone into the back of the net. It was a good tackle from Forsyth, but it kind of just literally, if we had our holding midfielders there, then maybe. But unfortunately Pritchard was waiting there on the edge of the box to finish it there. As you can see, he just went past Davies with ease. Forsyth got the tackle in on Oliveira's shot, but then unfortunately nobody was marking Pritchard on the edge, who is one of the best creative players in this league, that's for sure. He hasn't quite hit the ground running like he should have probably done. I remember him at Brentford, he was incredible. But since moving to Norwich on permanent, just hasn't quite clicked. Chance here for Vidra to go through. It's a nice ball through from Martin. He hasn't quite got the feet out of his the ball out of his feet, and it just couldn't quite. If he just, I don't know, just slightly had better dribbling there, probably we would have got through, but unfortunately it was just stuck under his feet and he couldn't get it out. And yeah, the defence managed to get back, and by the time he got the shot off, wasn't too good on bringing the ball forwards here. Just waiting for the space for one of our attackers. It's gone into Vidra now with the shot, and it's a great goal, but he's offside apparently. I'm not 100% sure about that. Was that offside? Let me have a quick instant replay, because that, I'm pretty sure he was on. Maybe just. Yeah, just offside, I think. Really tight, actually. A little bit annoying. I thought I was 1-0 up there, but clearly not. But at least we're creating chances to score. Ball into Martin now, with the ball through for Vidra. Hopefully we can finish the shot now. Yes, we can. Matai Vidra. Nice bit of link-up play from Martin, as always. And I believe that is his... He might be going on to 10th goal this season. I think it might be his 9th, though. But at least we got the goal, got back into the game. We have just made a few substitutions. I think they're still needed to win this game. We do definitely need to win. Yeah, it was a really nice ball through from Martin. Well paced and A beautiful finish in fairness from Vidra. He really did make that goal, and that's his 9th. So next goal is his 10th. We are bringing on a few subs now. Jordan Ive, Nugent and Bradley Johnson coming on for Lawrence, Martin and Kieftenbeld. Jordan Ive now going through. Really good chance to make that second goal. Hits the post into Nugent with the finish. I was really annoyed when Jordan Ive didn't finish that. I was like, for fuck's sake. And then Nugent's there to get the goal. And we're in the lead. Really good from David Nugent. He's been so important that I think we wouldn't have even been in these top 2 positions if it wasn't for Nugent. The amount of really important goals. And I could have seen Martin very easily miss that. He hasn't quite got the finishing that Nugent's got. But at 32, is he realistically going to play for us next season? We'll have to see. And there we go, full time against Norwich City. A great victory. Does mean we stay top of the table, of course. And I think it's one of those games that we definitely needed to win. After winning 2 on the bounce, making it a 3rd. As you can see by the player ratings, Forsyth did a great job at left back. He won 7 tackles out of 7. Really good dribbles completion and pass completion. And I think we do need to play Forsyth a little bit more. We do rely on Maxlow a little bit too much. I don't mind playing him in the easier games, but some of the bigger games we definitely need to play on more experienced fullback. Into the next game then against Reading. As you can see, our manager rating has dropped by an absolute ton because we're dropped out of the top 2. The reason that is because the teams above us have played 2 more games. Can the game not recognise that if I win these 2 games, we'll go 3 points clear at the top of the table? But nevertheless, Reading are only 5 points behind us, but they have played the 2 games as well. So I think it'll be a very tight race between those top 4 teams. Obviously, us and Leeds with 2 games in hand, probably in the better position. But nevertheless, into the next game against Reading, I'm probably going to go with the same lineup. I don't think there's a need to change it. We'll go with our black kit. They've got a white and blue. And yeah, I feel like this is the system that's getting us wins at the moment. There's no point in making changes. I know we've just brought in Joe Ledley, but like Kieftenbeld just has that ability to win the ball back a lot easier. And that's what I like about him. He's one of them just dirty players in the midfield. Joe Ledley, a little bit more conservative and doesn't quite get his foot in it as much. Chance here for Reading. They're building it up very nicely indeed, and they have got the first goal of the game. Bodvarsson, a very clinical finisher, obviously came from Wolves, and he made it 1-0. I remember our first ever loss this... actually, no, it wasn't. It wasn't our first ever loss. It was our second ever loss, because our first ever loss was against Forest, and then we lost 4-1 against Reading, which was our biggest loss of the season so far. So, 9th goal this season for Bodvarsson, obviously very clinical indeed. We haven't really created that many chances as well, so we definitely need to get back into this game sooner rather than later. Ball into Moses Simon here with the shot. It's gone into Vito Manone's palms though, and it's gone out for a corner. Ball into Wisdom now, inside to Moses Simon. Interested to see how this link up between these two do work out. Saved by Vito. Onto the edge to Vidra with the turn, with the shot, and a really, really nice goal from the Czech Mataj Vidra to make it 1-1, and that's his 10th goal of the season. I'm really glad to see that he has done well in this career mode. Punch from Vito, nice ball to the edge to Vidra. It was a really good turn to go away from the man and to find it into that bottom left-hand corner. A really good finish in fairness. In FIFA 17 I could have seen my striker getting in the way, but this year it seems to be a little bit more intelligent. They do actually duck out of the way and jump out of the way so you don't block your own shots. Reading with the reply though, with the goal. It's 2-1. Really annoying the mechanics, because you can see where it goes, oh, we need to try harder because they've just scored, and they do it. They just make an incredible passing attack. 2 goals after us can scoring our goal. They get back into it. Really frustrating, but that's the game that we're playing, so we're gonna have to work with it in the future. I just need to be a bit more like defensively more intelligent. Maybe just take him down, get the free kick, and break up the play. Because from kick-off, they seem to be really effective. The AI. Free kick here for Reading then. Only a couple of minutes into this second half, so definitely don't want to kick it off with a goal conceded. Now into Bodvarsson, he's going to get the shot off, and he's going to score his 3rd goal in his 3rd shot. It just had a graphic up where it said two shots, 2 goals, but he's managed to get himself a hat-trick. Just that little action, and then he goes past Keogh. I kind of did commit with Keogh, and that's his 11th goal this season, and it makes it 3-1 to Reading. There it is, full time against Reading. It's a slight improvement from the last time we did play, where we did lose 4-1, so you can look at it that way. Defensively we're slightly better, but Bodvarsson, You kind of just show there like how clinical the AI are. They only had 4 shots on target and 3 of them went in. With that loss, unfortunately, it does put us all the way down into 4th position. Even if we do win both of our games in hand, we still will only go joint top with Brentford. So we are in a bit of a pickle at the moment, but as long as we get those top 2 positions, that's all I'm really bothered about. I'm not 100% bothered if we do finish in the very top position. But as you can see there, Jordan I've grown to a 73 rated player, definitely something he needs to do. I think that's the first time he's actually grown this season, so it's taken him a very long time indeed to do that. As you can see, we have had a contract offer here for Craig Forsyth. Now, I think it's just best to let him go on a free, even though he's playing quite well this season. When we go to the Premier League, it'll be a completely different level, so I think for the time being, just let him go if it is an option, because I don't really see a place for him in the Premier League side. And as you can see there, Craig Forsyth is leaving the club to join Bolton. Bit of a shame, but at the same time, I'm not that bothered because, well, it's an area we can look at when we get to the Premier League. I know that some people have been suggesting Sessegnon from Fulham. The problem is with him, I see him very similar to Max Lowe. He's essentially the same style player, so I don't really see much of a point. I'm not 100% sure why Balloon is thanking me, but we have got a training injury here, and I haven't actually checked who it is yet, so I'm just going to wait. We're going to check this. Oh, it's nice to see he's actually got a pretty nice potential on him, Brandon Lee. Now, it's gone from 75 to 89, and the training injury is to Keefton Beld. Now, it's a position where we've got a lot of backup, so it's probably one of the best places we could have got a training injury, so it's between Joe Ledley and Johnson. Johnson's been doing very well off the bench, so I think it's best to do Joe Ledley. Then we'll put Huddleston onto the reserves, and that way it's a blessing in disguise in a way, because it does mean players that we have just brought into the club do get that opportunity. I am kind of tempted to put Johnson in though, but I think off the bench he is quite effective, so we'll leave it like that for the time being. And bit of a shame to Keefton Beld, but not the worst of injury places to get. So I think, because of the amount of fixtures we do have this month, I think it's wise to make a first team and a second team for these games, because they're not going to be fit for the next game. So we'll play our first team, I think, in this batch, and then we'll play our second team in these 3 here. I don't know, because both those games are quite important, the Forest and the Leeds one, but I'd say the Leeds are slightly important because of where they are. So we'll go first team against Fulham, obviously they're above us. Then we'll go second team, then we'll go first team, and hopefully our first team should have enough fitness for that game against Leeds, as we did rest them against QPR, but we'll have to wait and see, of course, until we do get up to that moment. But we are going to go into the next game against Fulham. If we do win the game, it will put us above them, and a very good position, of course, so we do definitely need to win this game, especially after losing that last one against Reading. Here we are then against Fulham. Obviously Chris Martin against his former club, he probably will score, of course. Looking at the Fulham lineup then, they've gone for a 4-3-3. Font, Rafalov and Cabano up front, McDonald, Norwood and Cisse in the midfield. Then they've got Callis, Model and Suarez and Odoi. And Bettinelli in goal. I think he's the best clean sheet goalkeeper in the league, so something it's going to be very difficult to break down their team. I do remember playing Fulham last time, and it was a very tough game. Ball into Lawrence now. Can he get a shot off here and potentially get a goal? Bettinelli with the save, and Moses. Open goal, and he's absolutely spanked that over the bar. I know the defender was closing him down, but he should have done a lot better there. I don't know why he took it on his weak foot. In fairness, he could have probably put that on his right, and really good chance to kick it off there. Ball away to Moses Simon. He's got blistering pace. Hopefully he can get this time the shot on target, and he has done it. Got his 3rd goal this season so far already, and he's gotten us into the lead against Fulham. The more important thing, of course, he did miss that earlier chance that was absolutely terrible. I don't know how he missed that so poorly. Wasn't the volley, in fairness. If he's got like less than 50 volleys, then I'd understand. But again, Martin just with the really well-weighted pass to put it through for Moses Simon. Puts it right in the bottom left. No chance the keeper can save that, and gets us into the lead, of course. 3rd goal. It's what we needed. Chance here for Fulham, and it's in the back of the net just like that, out of nothing. Ball into the box, onto the edge, and they have found the back of the net. McDonald. I think I'll make my substitutions now. The problem is, if we sub off some players now, they won't be able to play in the next game, if that makes any sense. So, like, I'm not going to play Huddleston. I think we'll bring on Johnson, though, for Joe Ledley, or Thorne. I think we'll go Joe Ledley. Should be able to play the next game on that fitness. And I think I have got that youth player. I will leave it for the time being, because the problem is if we sub on Jordan Ibe now, it'll be unlikely he can play in the next game. So it's almost like, do we just play out these two wingers and then play him in the next? We'll have to see. Ball out to Moses. It is the 90th minute. He's got to score this to win the game. And Bettinelli with another save. He's just, he's really kept Fulham in this game. It's incredible. Chance though to get the second with the shot. Rebound. Oh. And there it is, full time against Fulham. 11 for shots for us and only 6 for Fulham, but they've managed to nick a point somehow. Those misses from Moses Simon especially, that was really flipping annoying. We could have easily got the 3 points, but we only got 1. So we are going to end it off here. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode. Obviously did just draw against Fulham. Bit of a shame we lost against Reading, but away from home it's probably a realistic result. And we did kick off the episode obviously with that win against Norwich. If we can win the next game against Fulham, go back into the automatic places quite easily. But unfortunately if we don't win the game, QPR are actually all the way down in 14th, so in theory we should be winning the game. But we'll have to wait and see until the next episode. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you are new, and see you soon. Bye.